The directive was explicit. The subject was to come out of the house, unarmed and with the camera. If only I could turn back the clock. But that's impossible. For the Presto family, this was meant to be a triumphant new chapter, a magnificent new home, the promise of a fresh start, and then a 911 call that would obliterate their future. He made the call himself, informing Charlotte County deputies that he had just murdered his wife inside their home on Holtville Avenue in Port Charlotte. Their children were in the house at the time. What had begun with such hopeful promise had devolved into devastating, irreversible regret. Port Charlotte embodies the quintessential Southwest Florida appeal. It's located just south of the region's wealthier enclaves, near enough to Venice and Sarasota for spontaneous trips to the Gulf beaches, yet far enough removed to avoid the staggering premiums of waterfront property. It is a community where the American dream still feels within reach for a family, and it was the place the Prestos had chosen for the next season of their lives. 46-year-old Roelio and his wife, 40-year-old Justandra, had engineered a life that, from all outward appearances, seemed exceptionally stable. On paper, Justandra was formidable. She had studied at Miami-Dade College, secured a real estate license, and excelled as a mortgage loan officer. Her profile showcased 2 decades of integrated experience in real estate finance, bilingual capabilities, and a reputation for being relentlessly motivated. She was known as a woman who could execute a plan, and events were certainly in motion. In July of 2024, the family acquired a sprawling, brand-new luxury residence in Port Charlotte for $446,000. It was immaculate, spacious, and intended to be their sanctuary. To finance the purchase, the Prestos flipped their first home in Cape Coral. Having bought it for $125,000, they sold it for $340,000, a handsome return on their investment. The new residence was a monumental upgrade in scale, in features, in everything. From the outside, it appeared the Prestos had achieved their ultimate goal. But new houses cannot repair fractured foundations. Beneath the gleaming surface, something toxic had been quietly festering for a very long time. And according to Justandra's family, the poison emanated from Roelio. Pictured smiling with her parents and brothers, the affection is undeniable. Justandra Presto was a loyal and loving mother, daughter, and wife. She was profoundly caring. She served as the protector of our family. She was the umbrella that shielded every one of us. I spoke exclusively with Justandra's brother and her family today. They are desperate for people to understand the kind of person she was before her life was stolen from her. There is nothing that can mend this loss. My sister, she was our shield. She was our light. She truly loved coffee. She was always there for me, for my brothers, and we were always there for her. But it's difficult when you're dealing with a relationship. When a couple is married, it is incredibly hard to get involved. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office reported that Justandra was shot to death by her husband, Roelio Presto, on a Sunday night while their 2 children were inside the home. His rage intensified when he understood that she no longer wanted to be with him, that she intended to separate because their entire life had been governed by his control and his immense jealousy. He said to me just a few weeks ago, "If I am not with her, no one will be with her." By September of 2024, Justandra had reached her limit and quietly initiated divorce proceedings. 2 months later, she informed Roelio. He did not take the news well. The hostility simmered for weeks, until Sunday, January 26, 2025. Only months after moving into their new home, a final confrontation between them would end in absolute disaster. It was a placid Sunday evening, 63 degrees, the sort of calm, temperate January night Port Charlotte is known for. Neighbors were winding down. The street was silent. But inside the Presto's brand new home, a vicious and all too familiar argument had ignited. Voices began to rise, the kind that bleed through walls and echo down hallways. The pressure that had been building since September, through November, through the holidays, and through the move into that beautiful new house. All of it erupted to the surface at once. And suddenly, the neighborhood was no longer quiet. Moments after the shots exploded through the silence, a phone rang roughly 110 miles away in Hillsborough County. Roelio's younger brother, Caesar, was on the receiving end. Caesar could not process what he was hearing. The words were surreal, the implications catastrophic. Roelio confessed to him that he had just committed an unspeakable act, something that could never be taken back. He was calling to say goodbye, convinced he had no other option but to take his own life. He then asked if Caesar could drive down to pick up the children. Caesar did what he could over the phone. He tried to reason with his brother, pleading with him plainly, "Listen to me. I'm on my way, but you need to call the police right now." At 7:24 p.m., a call came into the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office from Roelio Presto, whose voice was chillingly composed given the act he had just committed. 911. What's the address of the emergency? Haltville Avenue. Is that within the city of Portal? No, I am calling because I need to report something. Okay, and what method did you use? I used a gun. Tell me precisely what transpired. I have 2 minors with me. A member of my family is en route to be with them. I've already instructed my family member to look after them because I'm aware that I will be going to jail. All right, if it's okay with you, I'd like to keep you on the phone. Our units are heading to your location, and I need to be able to give you their instructions. For example, if they need you to exit the house or anything of that nature. Exactly. That's the kind of thing. My concern is avoiding any miscommunication where, you might get hurt or something to that effect. Okay, just stay with me now. Where exactly are your children? Are they in a separate part of the house or they are here? In fact, they are listening to this conversation right now. Oh, I see. Both of them? Okay, what are their ages? One is 15, a boy, and the girl, she's 9. The probable cause affidavit would later confirm this. The couple's 2 children were present inside the home throughout the entire incident. The 15-year-old son had not simply been a bystander. He had actively attempted to defuse the volatile conflict. He had been in such immediate proximity to the firearm that he witnessed the event unfold, later reporting severe ear pain from the loud reports. And as I mentioned, my brother. I've already spoken to him, and he is coming to be with the children. Understood. How far away is he? He's likely about 2 hours away. He's already in transit. Okay. How long ago did you speak with him? I can't recall. Perhaps maybe 30 minutes ago or thereabouts. I don't remember. Okay. And what type of car does he operate? I don't know. He could be arriving in a Tesla or perhaps a Lexus, something along those lines. Okay, one of the two. No, I understand. I appreciate that. Yes, it's just so our officers are aware that it's him arriving, so they can help manage everything that's happening. They are approaching your street now. They're coming up on the location. Please, just inform them. I pose no threat to them. I will not harm them. I will raise my hands. Whatever they command, I'll comply. I'll get on the ground. Okay, I am just so sorry. I don't understand why life is this difficult. No, I understand. I can sense your remorse, and I realize there are a lot of emotions involved. I want to thank you for remaining calm with me and for being cooperative for them. We genuinely appreciate it. Particularly considering the gravity of the situation, I appreciate that you're being more rational. I believe you are doing the right thing, by heeding the advice of your brother and considering your children and just allowing us to take control of this rather than having something happen to you. All right? Yes. Oh, I am so sorry for my babies crying, and I'm so very sorry. Please, come and take me away. They have arrived. Let me confirm if they want you to exit. But I mean them no harm, you understand? I will not do anything to them. No, I understand. They bear no responsibility for any of this. Okay, what vehicle is yours? Is there a red truck in the front of the house? Yes, that is my truck. Should I come out? Hold on, let me check. I moved the children into the other room. Oh, okay. Understood. You can proceed toward the front door, but please remain inside for a moment longer. So, you want me to go to the door? Do you want me to activate the lights to improve their visibility? Yes, you can feel free to turn on the lights. But just do not go outside quite yet, okay? Okay. Or they're welcome to enter. I'll just be sitting here. I'm just sitting here on my couch. Okay, just remain seated on the couch. Yes, okay. I appreciate you staying on the phone. I will provide you with an update in a moment. Any moment now, they're going to have you come out. They have to conduct a sweep of the house. Standard procedure. They're aware I'm on this line with you. There's a protocol they have to adhere to, a checklist to prevent any mistakes, any unforeseen incidents. They're just ensuring every step is executed correctly. Understood. But I'm keeping you on the line for that reason. I can signal when it's time to move out, and from that point, they will take over communication with you directly. Right. Okay, I understand. The situation seems clear enough. Was it just the four of you present in the house, or is there anyone else residing there? No, it was only myself, my two children, and my wife. Understood. I had to be certain. While you hadn't mentioned anyone else, I couldn't assume there wasn't another family member living in the residence. No, there wasn't. One moment. I'm picking up radio traffic. They're communicating. I expect they'll have you step outside within the next second. Fine, of course. And I want to acknowledge that you've remained remarkably composed through this. I understand there's a torrent of emotions coursing through you, and I can't begin to fathom what you're experiencing right now. But your calmness with me is appreciated. Yes, if only I could turn back time. I know, but it's not possible. The pain is just overwhelming. No, I am truly sorry. I know the kind of pain you must be in, considering everything. I can't imagine it. It's an immense burden. I understand that. I can at least empathize with that crushing feeling. So, which room did you direct the children to? Did you send them to their bedrooms? I told them to go to their bedrooms. And where in the house are their bedrooms located? The girl's bedroom. It's situated at the front of the house. I can come out now if you want. Ask me anything you need to. No, that's fine. We want to avoid any further complications. We'll just let them speak with you directly from here on out. Okay, I understand. I know this is a heavy burden, but my priority is also to prevent any harm from coming to you. Okay, they're instructing me to have you step out of the house without the firearm and with your hands visible. Okay, all right. Stay on the line with me as long as you can. You know the drill. Open the door. Keep your hands up with the phone still in one. If you have to set the phone down, do it near the front door. All right, just stay with me until you reach the front door. Let me know that you're stepping outside, and then I'll disconnect. They will take it from there. Okay, sir, I'm placing it on the floor. You said, yes. You can place your phone wherever is necessary. If you need to put it in your pocket, that's fine. It's your call. If you want to set it on if you have a small, I'll keep it in my pocket and I'll leave you on speaker. Understood? Yes, that's acceptable. Move toward my voice. Come forward. Keep coming forward. Keep coming. Continue moving forward. Stop there. With your right hand, lift your shirt. Right hand only, my apologies. Turn around. Stop. Get down on your knees. Place your hands on top of your head. All right, move forward. Do not move. I have the cuffs. I have them. I have the cuffs. I'm so sorry, gentlemen. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. It's all right. Just relax. 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 I'm just so sorry. I don't want. Stand up. Get on your feet. Okay. I need you to lean against the side of this truck right here. Are you carrying anything on your person? No. Understood. Confirmed. Nothing. A phone. Is this your device or hers? No, that's her phone. The victim's. Roger that. Right. Okay. We have children exiting the residence. The sergeant is with him. Get that documented. Oh my God. I just want to die. I want to die. Can you take him for a moment? Do not place him in the vehicle yet. Yes, let's proceed this way. We're going to walk. My unit is farther down, but I'll move it up here. My babies. My poor babies. I never wanted this for them. I never wanted this. I apologize. Hey, can you remain here with him? I'm going to retrieve my vehicle, and I'm going to bring it up to this position. State your name, sir. Roelio, Roelio Presto. Prestol. Yes. Is Presto your surname? Yes. What is your middle name? I do not have one. Okay. Your date of birth? January 14th, 1979. So that's ROGELIOPRESTOL. Is that correct? 1/14/1979. That's correct, sir. Do you possess a Florida driver's license? I do. Okay. Stay right here with me. Understood? All right. We'll get this sorted out and await instruction to see if they intend to transport him for a formal interview or... Yes. Okay. I've only obtained his name so far. That is all. So, yes. Understood. I will return shortly. I will ascertain the required next steps. Responding officers found Justandra lying face down on the walkway leading to the residence. She was pronounced deceased by medical personnel at the scene. The children were subsequently placed in the care of Justandra's family. Rogelio was taken into custody and transported for booking and interrogation. It was during his interview with detectives that Rogelio offered his narrative of the events that led to that night. According to his statement, his suspicions began nearly 2 months prior. A growing conviction that Justandra was engaged in infidelity. It is a critical point that her family has unequivocally denied these allegations. He claims that upon confronting her, she responded by telling him she wanted a divorce. Whether his paranoia was rooted in reality seemed irrelevant. In his mind, the betrayal was absolute, and it was left to fester. On the day of the shooting, the pressure that had been mounting finally erupted. Rogelio demanded she unlock her phone, convinced he would find evidence that she had been transferring money to someone. She refused. In response, he went and retrieved his 9mm firearm. He would later tell detectives his intent wasn't to shoot her, but to force her compliance. But she held her ground. At some point in the escalating conflict, Rogelio positioned himself in the office doorway, sealing her only exit. Cornered, Justandra resorted to the only option she could see. She attempted to escape through the office window. That is the moment he began to fire. By the next morning, January 27th, his case was already being processed by the court system. At a pretrial detention hearing 1 week later, it took the presiding judge approximately 6 minutes to deny the accused murderer bail. The judge mandated that Presto was to have no contact with his children or his in-laws. He has remained incarcerated ever since. In the meantime, the story had broken in the media, and in a small, quiet town like Port Charlotte, a place where everyone seems to know everyone, the impact was profoundly different. He was always smiling, constantly smiling, a very kind smile. I mean, from all appearances, he seemed like a truly decent person. I normally have a good intuition about people, but I never once got any sense that he could be capable of an act like this. I spoke with neighbors Tyler and Cindy Starr, who had taken their boat out on the water to get away from the investigation unfolding just beyond their property line. There were what felt like 50 police officers right outside our door. It began the way these things often do for neighbors. A disturbance outside. We went to the window, and what we saw was a tactical operation materializing on our quiet street. A line of police officers, armed with shields, AR-15s, and shotguns, advancing methodically toward the house next door. In the fractured narrative of the neighborhood, Preston was known as a family man, seemingly happy. Their kids attended the same school as the others. Now, the community's thoughts were only with the children. In an instant, both of those kids were left without parents. It's a fundamental tragedy, a fissure in their young lives. The prevailing hope is that they receive the specialized help and therapy they will almost certainly need to navigate the aftermath. The day before, the news had sent a shockwave of disbelief through her workplace. Tracy Kelly had been Justandra's colleague for 6 years at the Florida Mortgage Funding Group. He described her as a light, a presence that illuminated the office. She had an aura about her. She was the kind of person you just wanted to be around, someone whose disposition was relentlessly uplifting and positive. The word that came to mind was sweet, a sweet person, incredibly sweet. For Justandra's family, the news was a catastrophic blow. Devastated, they struggled to confront an event that defied comprehension. In photographs, smiling alongside her parents and brothers, the love is undeniable. Justandra Presto was a devoted mother, a loyal daughter, and a wife. But more than that, she was the family's protector. She was the umbrella that shielded every single one of them. In an exclusive conversation, Justandra's brother and family spoke with me today. It was important to them that people understood the person she was before her life was stolen from her. There is nothing that can repair this loss. My sister, she was our umbrella. She was the light she truly loved. Coffee, she was a constant for me and for my brothers, just as we were for her. But you find yourself in a difficult position when someone is in a relationship. Once people are married, it's incredibly difficult to intervene. He knew she no longer wanted to be with him, that she intended to separate. Her entire life with him had been an exercise in control. Her family confirmed she was in the process of filing for divorce, a reality Preston could not accept. The last person she spoke with was my mother. I don't know if he assumed she was talking to someone else, but his jealousy, his obsession, was immense. He told me just a few weeks ago, if I can't be with her, no one can. Justandra's father articulated the profound pain their family is now enduring without their only daughter. It will not be easy to overcome this, to accept this emptiness. It will not be easy for us, nor for her children. The void will remain. On Valentine's Day, 2025, Roelio was officially charged with second-degree murder with a firearm. The court docket carried another telling detail, a flag for habitual felony offender status. This was not his first confrontation with the criminal justice system. Court records revealed a pre-existing domestic legal case out of Lee County, dating back to 2023. The specifics of that case remain sealed from public view. Since the murder charge, the wheels of justice have been turning slowly. A series of status hearings, psychiatric evaluations, and virtual court appearances. As it stands, a competency hearing is on the calendar for March of 2026. The findings of that hearing will ultimately determine whether this case ever proceeds to trial. If convicted, Roelio Presto faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 25 years, with the stark possibility of life in prison, especially when considering his prior record and the nature of the crime. Justandra Presto was 40 years old. She was educated, accomplished, and just entering the prime of her life. She had cultivated a career, raised 2 children, and finally made the incredibly courageous decision to walk away from a marriage that was causing her harm. She followed all the correct procedures. She filed the legal documents, she formulated a plan, she was trying to get out. And that is precisely when her situation became the most dangerous. What happened to Justandra is not an anomaly. It is a documented pattern, one that researchers, advocates, and law enforcement have observed time and again. In cases of intimate partner violence, the most lethal moment for a victim is not while she remains in the abusive environment. It is when she makes the decision to leave. That choice, the one that requires the greatest amount of courage, is statistically the very action that puts her life at the highest risk. According to research published in the American Journal of Public Health and often cited by the National Domestic Violence Hotline, women are 75% more likely to be murdered by an abusive partner in the weeks immediately after their departure than at any other point in the relationship. Justandra had been discreetly attempting to leave for months, and Roelio was aware of it. A brand new house, a fresh start, a life that from the outside appeared to be picture perfect. Ultimately, none of it made a difference. All that ever mattered was power, and the moment he sensed that power eroding, the fallout was both catastrophic and irreversible. That night, 2 children were left without a mother. A family was deprived of someone they cherished, and a community faced the brutal truth that evil rarely wears the face you anticipate. Sometimes, it resides behind the immaculate facade of a new home on a tranquil suburban street. The tragic story of Justandra Presto is a haunting reminder that the most dangerous place on earth isn't always a dark alleyway. Sometimes, it is the quiet, immaculate sanctuary of a brand new home. Justandra did everything right. She built a career, protected her children, and eventually found the immense courage to file for divorce. But in the shadows of her success, a toxic obsession was simmering. The most vital lesson we must take from this heartbreak is the paradox of departure. Statistics reveal a chilling truth. The most lethal moment for a victim of domestic abuse is not while they are in the relationship, but the moment they decide to leave. When a controlling partner senses their power eroding, their desperation can turn deadly. We must look past the perfect facades of our neighbors and friends. We must learn to recognize that extreme jealousy isn't love. It is a red flag for potential violence. If you or someone you know is planning to leave a controlling environment, please understand that silence is not safety. Reach out to professionals who specialize in safety planning. Let Justandra's legacy be a catalyst for us to speak louder, intervene sooner, and recognize that no one should ever have to pay for their freedom with their life.